Welcome guys again. Thank you very much for watching. Today's episode is about milk.
Absolutely.
This is Ruben.
That's Aram.
And let's tear this one apart.
Let's do an okay job doing that. Although there's a lot. This is a big topic, and it's very controversial. And there is a lot of politics involved with it. So we'll try not to touch bases on those, but you'll find out on your own.
So for me, the biggest issue with milk, when people say milk, what they think milk is and what milk was is generally two different things.
They're miles apart.
So what milk was when you milk a cow, the milk comes out and people used to consume it.
Right.
What milk is right now is we pasteurize and homogenize it, and that's what we call milk.
And in some instances, we'll actually ultra-pasteurize them.
Sometimes we ultra-pasteurize it. So we're going to brush up on each point and see what we can come up with.
Absolutely.
Go ahead. So what do you think about milk?
I think milk and dairy products are a fantastic source of nutrients. I truly do, and I consume them quite often. There's a caveat there. Most of it, and I wouldn't say all of it because I would be lying, is going to be raw. That means that it has not been pasteurized or homogenized. And that's very important to the whole process of maintaining the nutrients as intact and as active, and sometimes even by process of fermentation becomes even more nutrient-laden.
Okay.
Right? However, the industry has taken a toll per se on this dairy, and by the process of pasteurization and homogenization, the product has been degraded sometimes to a degree that is actually harmful and unhealthy to the body. Now you might ask yourself, or if you don't ask yourself because you already know, good for you. But I mean, please tell these people what the process of pasteurization is, and I'll keynote on the homogenization.
Okay, so just a little thing that we want to say. If you guys want to know about milk, I totally recommend the Untold Story Milk. Go right ahead, purchase it. You probably see it on our website.
Yeah.
Excellent resource to figure out the whole history.
Really?
But to be really short, back in the days, people thought that the milk make other people very sick up to the point of death. So the theory was that the bacteria in the milk that could cause the harm. And this guy named Louis Pasteur, French, very smart guy, came up with this theory. Remember, it's a theory. It's not proven. But the theory was, if you heat up the milk, it's going to kill all the bad bacteria. Therefore, that milk will not cause harm.
It will not be a carrier for what was understood that be almost an epidemic back in the day with tuberculosis.
Exactly. So that's why it's called pasteurization. It's named for Louis Pasteur, and it basically means that the milk has been heated to a certain temperature, and after that temperature, most of the bacteria die. The only thing that wasn't considered that also when you heat up the milk, you kill all the enzymes and all good things and vitamins and nutrients that are very heat sensitive.
Correct.
Now, what ended up happening that I personally think, it's my opinion, companies figured out that it actually increases the shelf life.
For sure it does.
Therefore, it increases the profits.
Right.
And that means you can milk the cows anywhere in the world, pull them in a big tank, pasteurize it, and sell as one big product called milk. That's what we have right now.
Which is technically not milk.
Exactly. So that's what pasteurization is. It's very important to understand. What I find that most people have no idea anything about homogenation. So what is homogenation?
People often don't have an idea what milk is and should be. Homogenation is the process that they use to break down the fat molecules, the globules. Right? Typically, when you have milk that has not been homogenized, you'll know that if you let it rest, the cream, right, will rise to the top and it will separate from the milk itself. And that's the process that my mother used to use all the time to pull the cream out of the milk and make with it some pastries and some type of breads and stuff like that that she used to make back in the day and at home. When the milk is homogenized, what they do is that they use a filter that has tiny, almost microscopic holes, and they push the milk through that filter. What it does is the fat globules that break down and they become homogenized. Homogenized means same size. where in natural milk, this process does not occur naturally. Two things happen there. The pressure that they use to put the milk through this filter is humongous. Right? They use somewhere up to 2,000 pounds of pressure. Just to give you an idea, as I was told, a fireman's hose, when they actually put it on a fire, that pressure is about 300 pounds on that hose. And typically one fireman by himself cannot control the hose. So you can imagine the pressure that they have to put this milk to add it up to 2,000 pounds per square inch. So the fat globules break down and they go through this hole, so every little globule is going to be always the same size. What happens in this process is that as the fat is broken down, it oxidizes much more quickly. This is a source of rancid fat because it will oxidize much more quickly, right? Now the body will see this as a very, very strange thing happening, and it will not react in a positive way because what you're doing is that you're eating free radicals. That's the thing that everybody tells us that we have to avoid as much, and we're consuming them in a daily fashion. That's why we have this industry of antioxidants, to avoid the damage of free radicals.
So what we have is we have pasteurized, homogenized milk products dominating the market right now.
Yes.
Raw milk products, on the other hand, even though truly they haven't been proven guilty of anything,
no, they haven't. That's the honest thing, and quite
are banned in majority of states. It is illegal in many states to sell raw milk, which I personally feel it's a shame.
Yes.
Now, if you want more information about where you can buy real raw milk, excellent place to go is realmilk.com.
That's correct.
Learn more about buying a book, Untold Story of Milk, by Ron Schmidt, your naturopathic doctor.
He's a naturopathic doctor, a really cool guy. I have had the pleasure of speaking to him on a couple of occasions personally. Really down-to-earth individual, and the main goal that he has in life is to produce a true product that actually nourishes people as opposed to harming their health. The book has stories. It starts with the whole milk business came about and how it came about, where it started the process of pasteurization, which it was here actually in the United States of America, and how it has created a lot of damage to people. Now we can talk a little bit perhaps about lactose intolerant. Why are people lactose intolerant, Aram?
Well, what is lactose? Lactose is a sugar contained within the milk.
Yes.
Anything with OSE, like fructose, sucrose, and things like that, are sugars. And your body has a hard time breaking it down.
Right.
Now, from studies, supposedly, some people are not designed to break down lactose.
Right.
So they genetically are not designed to drink milk.
Correct.
So let's forget about all these blanket approaches, blanket diets, and we're unique. Everybody is absolutely unique. Some people not designed to drink milk.
Or they don't have a predisposition, and it becomes more of a challenge as far as having a healthy nutrient.
So cow milk, it's not necessarily for everybody's consumption.
Right.
Let's put it that way.
And it's neither good or bad. It depends on the state that it is and who the person that's consuming it is.
So if the milk is good for you, chances are you're going to be able to break it down and consume it.
Right.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
What can they do? Can anybody do anything about lactose intolerance?
Well, I have worked with several clients, and I've told them, listen, if you're truly lactose intolerant, I can understand. But I want you to go